Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youthman. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Today is one of those days that reminds me of why I built a home theater in my house. I am absolutely blown away with the experience that I just had just a few minutes ago. And you know how when you experience something just really amazing, you have to tell somebody? Well, you guys are the ones I want to tell about this. This is pretty phenomenal. So a while back, probably about a year ago, a friend of mine recommended a Blu-ray, and it is the Hans Zimmer Live at Prague. And so his name is Kyle Bliss with Life of Bliss. He's got an incredible home theater channel. He also does a lot of do-it-yourself kind of stuff and just has some builds on his channel. So definitely check out Kyle. But this movie, it's like a concert DVD. So basically, it's got music from Gladiator, The Dark Knight, that trilogy, The Lion King, Inception, Interstellar, Da Vinci Code, Pirates of the Caribbean. Just a bunch of great scores, a bunch of just really, really phenomenal music and musicians. These guys are extremely talented. And so when I bought it on his recommendation, like I said, about a year ago, I liked it. It was cool. But I probably watched just a few clips from it, like Circle of Life, and then the Pirates of the Caribbean, Spider-Man 2 is on there as well. So I watched those, and like I said, it was just kind of cool. But I just kind of tucked it away. Didn't really watch it anymore. It was just an okay experience. Well, if you've been following the channel, recently I made a huge upgrade to my home theater. So I recently upgraded to 3 JTR Noesis 212HTR speakers. Now, I've made 2 videos on the 212HTRs, and so if you're interested in those, I'll post links to those videos at the end of this video. But over the past 7 years, I've owned Klipsch LaScalas, and I've loved the Klipsch LaScalas. They've sounded great for home theater, but for some reason, I just felt something was lacking in the music department, especially just listening to 2 speakers. And I don't know if it's how the LaScalas interacted with my room, just because of their design, or maybe there was some interference with being behind the screen and not kind of out in the open. That part I don't know. But what I can tell you is the 212 HTRs are absolutely phenomenal for music. I mean, I love them for home theater, but music, holy cow. This is literally what I've been looking for since I made a trip up to JTR and heard 3 JTR systems. I heard music demos there, and I left there just going, man, why don't I have that experience in my home theater? And so anytime I listen to music, I would always go out to my living room and listen to my Klipsch RF-7.3s, and those sound great too. But I always wanted to sometimes just come in here and watch a concert DVD or just listen to some music or 2-channel. And like I said, I just never really was fully satisfied with that. Now, a lot of you guys have asked in the comments, if I was selling my LaScalas and what the plans were for them. And unfortunately, they are no longer in my home. I had reached out to my patrons and said, hey, look, I love these JTR speakers. I'm in the process of about to list these, and I want to offer them to you first. And I actually had one of my local patrons who doesn't live but probably 45 minutes from me say, Michael, I'm definitely interested in those, because he's even been to my home and he's heard the LaScalas. And so Nog recently purchased those, and I helped deliver those to his house, and he recently sent me some pictures of it and just shared with me, in his living room setup. He's got it kind of temporarily set up there for now while he's building and kind of setting up his home theater room in his house. So Nog, I hope you enjoy the LaScalas. I know they've gone to a great home, and I look forward to maybe even coming over to your home once you get your theater built, and we'll do a home theater tour of your setup. And so today I'm like, you know what? I've been listening to more music in here than I ever have before, and I'm really enjoying what I'm hearing. And so I went through my DVD collection, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't checked this out in a while. So I pulled out the Hans Zimmer, and I went to the Pirates of the Caribbean. I've always loved the movies with Jack Sparrow and Johnny Depp, man. They're just a lot of fun, but they've got some really cool music in all of his movies. And so I jumped to the first one, which was Captain Jack Sparrow. And honestly, that was okay. You know, it was pretty cool. And then I went to One Day. All right, that's cool. But then I get to this next track. It's called Up is Down. And that ends up leading into the fourth track, which is He's a Pirate. And that's, so let me just share with you kind of what I experienced. So the beginning of Up is Down, you know, I mean, it's got this girl on I think it's a cello, and it's just real beautiful and it's cool. And so as that song progresses, the score begins to kind of swell and build, you know, the momentum and the energy begins to build. And I was listening to it at a decent volume. I think it was at -10 dB, so it wasn't at reference level, but it was definitely, you know, it was pretty good volume in my room. And so this thing begins to play and it begins to kind of swell. And you know, when you think about a movie, you're watching what's happening on screen, and whatever the action is, the music score is supposed to help evoke some type of emotion in you, whether it's to evoke sadness or empathy or excitement or adrenaline or anxiousness or whatever that the producer is wanting to try to create in you as a viewer. And so I'm watching this and I'm listening to this, and I just feel like my heart begins to kind of speed up and get faster, and just my mouth began to smile. This thing was just sounding phenomenal. And as we got to the kind of the crescendo, I guess, not crescendo, but we got to the climax of it, that's when it kicks into that, again, I forget what it's called, He's a Pirate. So it transitioned right into that, and that's like the theme song. Dun 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 dun. Dude, I'm telling you, when that kicked in, holy cow, it sounded phenomenal. Not only did it just increase in volume, but the energy in this room, the Atmos speakers were going nuts. It was just so incredible. And then, you know, of course, it's just dun 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 dun. I feel like I was riding a horse. Dun 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 dun. You know, I was just so excited, and my face was just smiling from ear to ear. And then we get to the very end, and that just big crescendo, and it just boom, and it just ends. And guys, I kid you not, I've never done this in my home theater before, ever, but I legit started clapping out loud, and I was just like, holy cow, what an experience. Now, there's only one other time that I've ever clapped out loud in a theater, and that was when we were watching the last Avengers movie. I mean, that was the big one. I mean, this was, what, 10 or 15 years of movies, you know, building up to that event. And I remember going there with my son and a bunch of his friends and some of my friends, and we watched that, and the whole stinking place just erupted with applause and laughter and just hooting and hollering and all that. That brought me back to almost that same experience. I mean, I was so excited that I legit began to clap after that. It was like I was sitting there at that concert going, man, guys, that was phenomenal. And that was the experience that I just had just a few minutes ago. And so it brings me back to why I'm so passionate about making content here on YouTube in the area and in the niche of home theater. And here's the premise. I believe that everyone can have a home theater. Now, you may be thinking, Michael, I don't have a dedicated room. It doesn't matter. I don't think you have to have a dedicated theater room to have a home theater in your space. My encouragement to my audience has always been, use what you have, the space available, the budget available, and just do the best you can with what you've got. Looking back at my home theater, one day I'm going to share with you, maybe even in the near future and maybe even this week, I want to kind of just go back to where this all began for me, because this has been a culmination of 15 years of building my home theater. It started out literally with a blank room. and not even a real big room. I mean, my room is 13 feet wide by 19 feet deep, including my cabinet. And so when you add the cabinet, that takes up like another 4 feet of my room. So technically, usable floor space, I've only got like 13 feet by 15 feet. So it's not a real big room. But I'd made a decision 15 years ago that we're going to make this work. I'm going to make the best home theater I can with the budget I had. And at that time, I didn't have a big budget at all. And so a lot of the equipment that I had, I ended up buying used. And I'll be honest with you guys, that's one of the best values you can have, especially in home theater and electronics and speakers and even theater seating. Over the past 15 years, I've been able to score some insane Youthman deals. We're talking stuff that just is super, super cheap, just by getting creative and searching the used market and really just knowing how to not only find those deals, but then even how to negotiate, the art of negotiating with the seller and trying to find those really, really, really great bargains. And so I even came up with a course. There's a bunch of videos that I made on that particular subject on how to score these incredible Youthman deals that I've scored over the past 15 years. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll post a link down in the description below to that course as well. It's only 20 bucks. And so if that might be a help and a blessing to you to help you score some Youthman deals, definitely check that out. A lot of times I get comments on my channel that say, oh, it must be nice to be rich. Guys, I can assure you, I am nowhere close to being rich. Yes, we busted our butt to pay off debt, so we don't have credit cards and we don't have car payments and things like that. But we have made a decision that we're only going to pay cash for the things that we buy. And so we don't finance things other than our home, and we're working to pay that off as early as possible. And so that allows me the financial freedom to be able to buy some things that I haven't been able to do over the past 15 years. And then also, of course, the YouTube channel has opened up opportunities to me to work with brands and to partner with various brands. And so that definitely has helped out, my home theater as well. But then I've also got two businesses. I have Youthman Reviews and also a business in website development. And so I've got both of those incomes to help me to kind of fund my home theater. But regardless of what size, what budget you have, I just want to inspire you guys. I want to use my channel. I want to use the experiences that I have to share with you things that I review. On this channel, I do a lot of home theater product reviews. And so anywhere from budget speakers to mid-tier speakers, and then, the JTR speakers, they're not cheap. They're about $3,000 each. And so I realized that doesn't fit everybody's budget. But I've also reviewed things like Monolith. I've also reviewed KLH. I've also reviewed the new Polk series. And so these are definitely very budget-friendly systems that can give you a good quality home theater experience in your setup. Also on this channel, I try to provide some tips and tricks and some things that you can do to help maximize whatever setup you've got now, whether it's running Odyssey and how to kind of step-by-step walk through that and dial in those settings so you can get the best performance out of your speakers and your equipment as possible. And then I also share with you home theater tours. And that's one of the things, honestly, guys, I absolutely love. In fact, I've got a home theater tour scheduled this Thursday that I'll be driving about, I think it's about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes north of me to meet up with a gentleman and check out his home theater. So I'm excited to share that with you. He's got something that I haven't seen anybody do, and a lot of it he's built himself. And so I cannot wait to share with you his setup later on this week. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you'll be notified of that video. But I love traveling and meeting you guys and seeing some of your setups and being able to share with the world and you, my audience, on just different ways that people have approached a home theater. Some of them have done a home theater in their living room. And I know a lot of you guys, you'll look at it and go, oh, that's not really a theater room because he's got an 85-inch TV or 65-inch TV, or he doesn't have dedicated a room, or he doesn't have theater seating. I'm not real concerned with that, because the reality is not everybody is going to have the luxury of building a dedicated home theater. And so I want to share with you people that have budget-friendly home theaters. I want to share with you people that have kind of mid-tier home theaters. And I'd love to review some really kind of elaborate and high-end home theaters as well. Because regardless of your budget, there are going to be people out there that watch the video and you're going to see something that you like. And even if it's on the massive scale and super high end, you may still be able to take the idea and the concept of it and implement it into your space and into your theater. And so I just want to inspire you guys in those different ways, whether it's a review, whether it's a home theater tour, or whether it's kind of just sharing with you tips and tricks on how to best optimize your home theater experience. Well guys, I just wanted to share my excitement of what just happened today listening to Hans Zimmer. So I'm going to have to listen to the rest of this. I've got some other concert DVDs and Blu-rays that I'm going to go back and listen to on the JTR speakers. And so if you want to pick this up, I'll drop a link down in the description below, as well as the other things I mentioned in the video. Guys, hope you have a blessed week, and we'll catch you in the next video.